Right, welcome back to another episode of the Sunday service with me, Soulboy, where we talk about mainly music and music related stuff and stories of my journeys through music and the music industry and all that. But I'm not going to do a big intro. This is more of an extension. If you like our songs and our music, this is like an extension of that where you can learn more about me, I guess. Anyhow, let's get on with this. This is the title today. You won't make great music if you're comfortable. And let's get into that. So basically, I don't come from London. I come from outside in a more of a countryside area with fields and stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? And when I was 16, I was done with it. I just figured I'm out of here. I finished school and I just hopped on a train and I went to London to form the greatest band in the world. And I thought it was going to be easy, but it definitely wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. So basically, I got to London and I got myself a room. I was living with a Bulgarian family. So it was the dad, the mum, they just had a new baby, and the grandma was there as well because with some Eastern European families, I think the grandma stays with them when they have a kid. That's what I've learned anyway. Anyway, so I'm from the country, so I'd not even probably met a foreign person before. So I was like, okay, first off, culture shock. Now I'm living with a Bulgarian family. I've transported all my records because I had 1,000 records or something, vinyls. I've transported them all up to this room on like 5, 6 train journeys to this tiny little Harry Potter room that was like tiny in the loft, like some illegal loft room that he'd obviously built himself, yeah? It's crazy, but the rent then was cheap. I think it was like £360 a month, which is crazy in London. And you wouldn't get that now. And so yeah, I moved in with the Bulgarians. This is in East London, Plaistow, West Ham, Upton Park, Green Street. Like I say, it was a culture shock, man, because I'm coming from the countryside to now just living on my own in like East London, deep East London, which was like a very like Asian area. That's what it was. So I was just like shocked, man. I was like, what's going on here? This is crazy. And at this age, I'm like a sponge, man. So I'm picking up everything. I was a little bit sad because I had no friends and that, but I got myself a job. I went in the internet cafe and sat there in Plaistow, and I got myself a job in Boots, the chemist. If you're in England, you know what that is. In America, just a chemist, yeah, high street chemist. I got myself a job there, and then I was like, right, I've got myself a job, I've got myself a room. Let's go and find a band. And anyway, that's to set the scene. You get me? So that was my first room where I lived, and then over the years I ended up living in like so many different rooms, and they deteriorated massively as my journey got on and I got into drinking and music and craziness. But what I wanted to talk about today is like how I found it easier and harder to create in different situations. I lived in the Bulgarian house for a second, and then I met a lady at work in Boots who was an African lady, and her sister had a room that she had a council flat in Vauxhall, which is like quite central London, and I ended up moving there, and I lived with her 2 African sons, which were around my age, and they were like quite religious guys, yeah, like because I'd walk into the kitchen and they'd be like on the floor praying and stuff, yeah. And I didn't know what the hell was this. Do you get me? Because I don't know about any of that stuff. So I was thinking, I'd come into the room, into the kitchen, making some rice or something. Because I used to just eat rice and stuff, man. Like their aunties would like cook for me and stuff like that. It was crazy, man. It was like I was part of the family, yeah. But one of the lads, the boys would be like praying on the floor with like a mat, because these guys are Muslim, yeah. And I didn't even know what that was. Like obviously I've been in school, I've done RE, but I didn't listen. You get me? So and and you go in there and say, oh, yo, what's going on? He's called Baba Jide, yeah? This guy's called Baba Jide. What's up, man? And he wouldn't reply me because I'm not 100% sure, but I I don't think you can talk while you're praying. But anyway, I learned a lot of stuff there, and I was living with these African lads, and I was chilled. Like I didn't drink or nothing. All I did was basically go to work in Boots and then come home and just write music. And just doing that, like in London, I didn't have any friends or nothing. Just doing that routine, work, music, like that sort of installed to me what I do today. That's why one of the reasons why I output so many songs, because it's just all the time music, man, just discipline, like. And I found it like really buzzy, man, if that makes sense. I was buzzed to be making music, like just way independent, man. I ain't got no friends out here. I'm just living this crazy life where I just come home, put on some vinyls, make music, vinyls, and then I'll go for a run, and then we're just like crazy out here. And that was one of my favorite places to live, actually, with the Africans. But it actually got ruined when I had the idea of getting my younger brother into my band, because I still wanted to create this crazy band. I hadn't actually managed to do it yet. And I called my brother. He was a bit younger than me. I think he was like 16 or something. Yo, you got to come up to London. You can be the bass player in my band. And he said, oh, I don't even know how to play bass. I said, don't worry, you can come up here. I'll teach you. So I used to try and teach him bass, and he started living with me in Vauxhall, in the room, in the African household, yeah. But then I didn't realise that would be a problem. But then one day I got a knock on my room door from one of the sons, Baba Jide. He says, yo, Zach, you need to speak to my auntie, yeah? So he passes me the phone, and I'm speaking to a woman in Africa, yeah? I presume one of his aunties, yeah? And she's saying that I can't have my brother at the place. I say, okay. And then she's passed me on to another auntie on another phone, and I spoke to her and done it again. It was confusing, yeah? I'd never dealt with this, but basically I'd outgrown my welcome. They didn't like my brother staying there as well, and he was like more erratic than me. He like was drinking and stuff. I wasn't doing any of that. I just cared about music. I honestly thought him drinking and stuff was a ball ache for me, because he wasn't taking it seriously. But anyway, I had to leave that place, and I got a room in Stockwell, which is South London, in a really rough area like Brixton. It was on I don't know what the estate was called, but it was on A-Town Road, on the Stockwell Road. It's a big estate, man, and it was a scary one, yeah. I lived in this tiny little room in a flat, in another council flat, and there was a lot of other workers in there. Like there was a Italian in the room next to me, an Indian guy there, Eastern European couple there, and then downstairs a couple of Italians, and a nutter in the other room who was just mental, yeah. And yeah, basically I would just do the same thing in there, but this room was a lot smaller, and I'd pack all my vinyls into there again, my little player, and my little single bed. And this was actually where I recorded the tune Watch You. Yeah, the tune Watch You was recorded in there. You're Only You, I Wanna Get High. Couple tunes, yeah. But I just recorded them in there, and these are the tunes that actually landed me the first management deal. So I was still buzzed to think about that. I had to almost sing really quietly so I didn't annoy anyone. But this room was cool. Like, it was in a rough area, but I felt like it even more solidified for me. Not solidified, but it made the tunes I was making even more stronger, to know that, like, I'm creating in this crazy environment, like in the middle of like concrete jungle. I'm out here just making tunes. I didn't know what I was doing. I sort of sucked as a songwriter as well, and I had to really keep my voice down, because I'd annoy the guys in the other room who are just workers. They just go to work and I'd wake them up. So what I used to do, I used to go to Boots in the morning and work in the chemist. So I'd go there at 6 in the morning. I'd come home around 12. I'd have an hour nap, yeah, because I was way knackered. And then from about 1 p.m. till 9 p.m, I'd write music and record it in my room. I'd just try my best. And then from 9 p.m, I'd cycle up to Camden. So I'd go from South London and cycle with my guitar on my back up to Camden, which is in North London. I'd busk on the street outside the bank, the HSBC in Camden, for a couple of hours till about 11 o'clock at night. And then I'd cycle from Camden. Oh, and just let me add, the reason I was doing the busking is because I thought that's how you got noticed. I thought that if I do busking, someone's going to notice me, like, and they're going to make me famous or put me on a label or something. I didn't care about earning like 20p from busking. I just wanted some record label to come sort it out for me. Anyway, so I did that from 9 to 11 p.m. and from 11 p.m. I cycled back down to South London to Waterloo. So you probably know Waterloo Station. Behind the station there's a park there. I don't know what it's called. It's a little green park. It was shut at this time at night, so I jumped over the fence and sit in the dark, pitch black park writing songs for 2 more hours until 1 a.m. And then after that I'd cycle back from Waterloo to Stockwell, have like 4 hours sleep, and then cycle back to Waterloo for work in the chemist. The reason I did this is because after 9 p.m. I couldn't write music in the room anymore because the people would be going crazy at me. So I had to go and sit in parks late at night. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even joking. Like, I'd sit in a park on the floor in the dark, in the freezing cold. Like, my hands would be shivering. I couldn't even play. But I was like, no, man, I've got to do this music. I don't care if my hands are freezing. But like, what I didn't realize was that this doesn't, like, if your hands are freezing, man, you're probably not going to make good tunes because you can't even think straight. Like, I just thought, like, nah, I'm going to put in the most work out of everybody. I'm going to put in the most hours. I'm going to do this hard. I don't care if my hands are freezing, you get me? I don't care if I'm so tired I can't think. I'm going to make a song. But I didn't realise, like, for me, I needed a certain amount of sleep to be able to think right, to make the bangers. But it took me years to realise that you need these sort of conditions. So, yeah, this was my title. You won't make great music if you're comfortable. To a degree. This is why it's a split title. If you're really uncomfortable and your hands are shivering and you can't think straight because you're too tired because you work too late, your music's probably going to suck if you're me. So we're having an argument here, you get me? But yeah, so I go to the park every night to write music. And where did I go after? There was other rooms which I'll go into another time, and the rooms got even worse. Like, after Stockwell, I moved further down into Brixton. And then after Brixton, I was getting more into like drinking and all drugging and stuff like that and dumb stuff, yeah. And that's when it started to get a bit crazy. And what was I saying? Next thing you know, I moved into a place in Peckham with an old guy. Must have been like, I don't even want to say an old guy. Me and my brother were sharing a room, and I was on the floor, and it was depressing, man. There was like maggots on there, and like I was still trying to. I had like basically every room that I went to just downgraded and downgraded and downgraded and downgraded until I was sitting in Peckham on the floor with maggots everywhere with my little laptop and my guitar, just still trying to make songs. And I was just heavily depressed, you get me? And to be honest, if you listen to the album 25 to Life, I wouldn't say it's like the best album in the world, but it's like a patchwork of the first 5 or 6 years of doing this, and you can sort of slowly see like the depression creeping in, man. It's an interesting listen, and you can sort of, if you listen to it, you'll be able to see my thoughts and my learning. It's not perfect by any means. It's a patchwork album, but 25 to Life, man, you can sort of hear I'm quite depressed in some of the songs, man. And thing is, like, some amazing music does come when you're really down and depressed. I acknowledge that, but it's not fun at the time. And most of the time when you're that depressed, I don't think you can even think straight enough to finish the record properly. Because at that point I was just recording on like a USB microphone straight into the computer and just hoping for the best, man. I was so down. Do you get what I'm saying? I was defeated after living in London for I don't know how many years, like 7 years or something, just poor as hell on some rat race thing. I was just depressed, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm getting off topic, man. I better wrap this up. This is where I'm at now. We don't have much, but like I have an area where I can work, which is just over there in the studio, I call it. We moved up north now, so it's really cheap. Well, it's cheaper than London, and I've got a stable place where I can actually work on music, and that's why I can output so much now. And every day, man, I just feel blessed that I'm not on a park floor freezing and having fireworks shot at me by random people and having eggs chucked at me and stuff like that. I'll go into that more some other times, but horrible times, man. Horrible times. Like, no friends either, just back and forth music, like. And like, I don't have too many friends now, but I have my wife and I have a stable a stable place to write music, man. And a lot of the music I write is in like retrospect. Do you know what I mean? I'll be thinking back to awful times, and now nowadays I can actually pen it down and make a good song out of it. I can think straight because I'm not freezing, man. I'm just thankful for that every day. That I'm not freezing, man. I'm not out on the street, man. Like when I see guys on the street, especially in London and stuff, when it's freezing, like in the winter, I feel horrendous for these guys, man. It's mental. But I'm so buzzed that like from when I moved to London with basically nothing from the country and knew no one, to be here now with like an actual legitimate studio, and my dream isn't even, I wouldn't say it's in fruition yet. Like we're just getting started. That's the mad thing with the SB. I always feel like it's just getting started, man, because I'm just excited about every new thing. I'm just to be excited here to make music, man. I love it. So when people say, oh, it must be mad hard for you to do a tune every week or a tune every 2 weeks, I'm like, nah, this is the easy part, man. Trust me, I remember the bad part. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all. Anyway, my title, you won't make great music if you're comfortable. I'm quite comfortable now, and I feel like I'm making the best music. So it's just an interesting topic starter for me. Do you get what I'm saying? And I would say, though, artists that I like personally, some of my favourite artists have like a crazy story, an interesting backstory that I can really relate to. And personally for me, like I listen to artists that I dig the music, but I also dig them as a person. It really helps me to rate it. If like, this sounds mental, yeah, and I'm probably in the wrong because you can't help where you come from. But I'd rather, I guess it's just because it relates to me, I'd rather listen to an artist that had been through it and had bangers rather than a bunch of kids that had everything given to them. But there's also nothing wrong with having everything given to you either. You can still make great music. So I guess it's just that I relate to some of them guys struggling, and I rate the story. Do you get me? And it makes the music better for me. Anyway, that was the Sunday service, peeps. I'm sorry it's gone on a bit long. Actually, I'm not sorry. I could have gone on longer. Do you get me? But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. It does help us out. Please share this around. If you know someone who would benefit from it, maybe a musician or someone, anyone. New songs every week on Thursday, SB Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to us, man. Yeah, I'm really putting a lot of effort into this, and there's going to be a tour and tour dates dropping really soon, as well as our new album. So thanks to everyone as well buying merch, man. If you have got the means, please pick up a t-shirt or a vinyl or a hoodie. It honestly makes a big difference to us, man. And big up all the Patreons, man. All the patrons that are pledging to our Patreon. Honestly, man, it literally keeps us going, and we post a lot of content on Patreon. So anyway, I'm waffling on. I'm becoming a YouTube salesman, man. Anyway, peace, people. That was the Sunday service. I really appreciate everyone joining us today. And if you're in the chat now, big up.